everyone, Hybrid Toy Reviews here. I've been asked a few times for this. You're finally getting it. Here is my 2022 collection tour. So, a little bit of backstory. I did a collection tour like once a year for the first 2 of these 4 years. And then I did a living room renovation, which involved ripping up all this old orange carpet and putting in this new kind of like imitation wood floor. And I was like, man, goal with that is sometime in 21, when I'm done with the flooring, let's go ahead and do a tour. And we just never got there. But, as you can see behind me, are my action figure cabinets, where I keep all of my Black Series and a couple of other things as of recent times. But I'm going to go ahead and start showing you all of that and what more may be in the collection. So, thanks for checking in. Let's go. Alright, if you watch any of my reviews, this row of cabinets is probably a familiar sight, but I very rarely go deeper into it. So at one time, these top 2 shelves here were my Character Options Doctor Who action figures. But, as you can see, they have been taken over by autographs. I'm going to do a separate video going over my autograph collection a little bit more in depth, so I'm not going to super focus on those. But to begin with, let's go over the stuff around the cabinet. So to the left, I have the Noble Collection Lucius Malfoy Kane wand. Looks super cool. I have wanted that prop replica since I was a young child, and it just finally came time to add it to the collection. Going from the Kane wand up higher, the top of these cabinets does stay a little bit disorderly. Those are all autographed sonic screwdrivers and a photo of Tom Baker, but we'll get to those in the next video. So here are some oddball things I have. Here's an extra 4th Doctor and the bootleg 11th Doctor sonic screwdriver, a 3D printed Lego battle droid and many times larger than a minifigure, the Khonshu statue from Moon Knight, and then a printed and painted Ahsoka Tano Clone Wars lightsaber. In the very back, you see the First Order Stormtrooper baton, and then the blade of the Count Dooku lightsaber. I have a comic series Darth Maul just hanging out back there. I have the Trapper Wolf Dave Filoni figure, a regular Stormtrooper, which I use for all of my size comparisons and videos, and then the My Face on a Figure head sculpt I had made of myself, put on a custom body. And considering it looks like Hasbro is doing their selfie series going forward, I might end up with another figure of myself. We'll see how that goes. This here is a flea market find. Some people are probably drooling already. This is a King Saul flash gun, very similar to the model used to make Darth Vader's lightsaber all the way back in the original Star Wars trilogy. This one is very slightly off. It doesn't feature the clamp in the middle, and it features a 2-step emitter. Some of the Vader one doesn't have this little lip right here. It's just a smooth all the way up shroud. But I found it in a junk bin for just a couple of dollars at a flea market. Couldn't pass on it. At one time I thought I might convert it into a lightsaber, but I elected not to. Here are the Mcfarland Toys Star Trek Captains Kirk and Picard. This was supposed to be a bigger line, and then they just kind of quit doing anything with Star Trek, which is unfortunate. They're really good figures. I keep a handful of knives around just for opening different packages. That's an extra battery for one of my fancier lightsabers. A couple of the Black Series Speeder Bike Scouts, a laser pointer because I have cats, my soda that I'm actively drinking right now, the Marvel Legends Infinity Gauntlets, and then the Eye of Agamotto. This is like a 20 questions Jedi holocron, Star Wars version. I mostly just have it as a replica of a holocron. I got this well before the Galaxy's Edge one ever came out, so, maybe there's a better one out there now. The Black Series Enfys Nest, the Black Series Rebel Snowspeeder, and the Black Series First Order TIE Fighter. Underneath of the TIE Fighter are a few more oddities. I have like a TIE Fighter pilot bust, a bunch of Black Series Astromechs, a lot of the Disney Target shared exclusives, the centerpiece Kylo Ren, and then a buildable First Order TIE Pilot figure, like a Lego thing. So, just some odd stuff gets stuck in underneath of there, but that is the top side of the cabinets. Now, I'm going to pan over, but I did just mention I'm not going to super focus on the autograph collection. And not everything in here is autographs. I guess I'll show what's not. That is a Ninth Doctor sonic screwdriver, nothing special. It's the weird mint green handled one, but I got Christopher Eccleston to hold it for our photo op together at Motor City Con 2022. So I just threw it in there, and that is a replica of the confession dial from the Peter Capaldi era, and then that's the 10th Doctor sonic screwdriver remote. Those sonic screwdrivers are not signed, but they're extras that I've picked up to get signed at some point. Going down, everything here is signed, and then going down lower, this is my sonic screwdriver collection. So I'm going to go through everything by memory as I can, like what it is. 99% of this is character options. Those are character options, 10th Doctor ones that I just gave a dirty wash just to really accentuate the crackles on the handle. That, I'm really blanking on who made that, but that's the 2nd Doctor sonic screwdriver pen light. It was like the only replica available for a long time. I believe it still is. These are all character options. On custom 3D printed bases I made, those are all RB replicas. I have the 3rd Doctor sonic screwdriver, the 5th Doctor, and the 8th Doctors. Down below, I have the Lego Star Wars Razor Crest. Beautiful model. I don't do a ton of Lego, but that's good Lego. Now, from here on, we are all Black Series. Starting with this cabinet. This cabinet's going to get some rearranging soon, so don't expect to see it the same way next time. The top shelf is kind of like Rogue One, Solo, and Jedi Fallen Order, and it is basically full. I just put Bodhi Rook in there, and he's already tipped over the chaos of collecting action figures. But super cool figures. There's basically no room for growth, which is something I'm going to have to be looking into some shelving options, seeing if I can expand these. I'd like to see if... I know there's ways to add shelves where you get like brackets that, would mount to these bars, and then you can get a new pane of glass cut. And, figures don't stand exactly twice the height. So I don't know. I'd have to see if I can't maybe squeeze in the void maybe 2 more shelves per cabinet. But underneath of this group, you get into my Rebels and then Bad Batch shelf, and that's getting pretty crowded. And with the reveal of the new Bad Batch trailer showing that all of the members other than Crosshair are getting basically paint added to their costumes, yeah, we're going to have an issue there soon for space. The next shelf down is a shelf that truthfully can probably just be cleared away and put in maybe a less important shelf in my room. I have the first wave of the credit collection open in there. Those and the second wave can go together on a shelf in my room. I have like the oddball, like the chrome and the red stormtroopers, the Gaming Grace battle droids, the occasional Old Republic figure mixed in. Like there's just not really anything that these really mix with, so this is just kind of like my put it there shelf. So like this whole shelf is probably going to disappear. There's like a carbonized, in there. Looking down lower, I have the GameStop exclusive prototype Boba Fett Black Series helmet. Going over here, this top shelf is just like oddball stormtroopers. They are just, some Rogue One variants, Solo variants. Well, pretty much that's basically all they are. But, just anything that was just kind of, added in the newer movies has been put over here. Tried to group them as close together as possible, and it actually worked out pretty nice. Going further down, this is my Mandalorian shelf, and it is absolutely full to the brim, which is part of the temptation of, because there's Book of Boba Fett figures to come, and Kenobi figures to come, and more seasons of The Mandalorian and the Ahsoka show, I think clearing that shelf will just give me a secondary Mandalorian shelf, so the less important figures here can go down. So like the Remnant Troopers and like Muddy Mando, I can basically put all the troopers down there, and then have like one version of Mando and the most relevant current crew. So like Gina Carano's out of the show. I love Cara Dune, but if she's not going to be in the show going forward, I'm going to have Mando's current group up here, is probably what this shelf will become. Going down lower, another Stormtrooper shelf, but basically just video game variants. So there's a lot of gaming greats and just figures that weren't gaming greats, but from video games that are all in here. There's like those new Senate guards that aren't very good at being Force Unleashed Senate guards. Looking down lower, you have the Black Series Rey Speeder, and then these 2 Kmart exclusives of Kylo Ren and Rey. I used to live near a Kmart, when The Force Awakens came out, so finding those was super cool. Ood is coming to say hello. How are you doing, buddy? You're just going to ignore me? He likes to be involved with whatever I'm doing. Moving on to the next cabinet. We start to work into a theme with the next cabinets where every cube basically represents a movie, except there's not very many Phantom Menace figures. Basically only 4 that are like exclusively Phantom Menace, so I kind of just put Attack of the Clones and Phantom Menace together here. That is the original release Yoda, like from like 2014 in the blue line, and so I've just taken his belt off and opened his robe, and he's a good enough fill-in prequel Yoda. But you see like a lot of the Geonosis battle droids and the tan ones. Basically, the tan ones were labeled as Phantom Menace, but they could go anywhere. Basically, the only definitive Phantom Menace figures we really have are Jar Jar, Qui-Gon, and Obi-Wan. And I was like, I can't just give them their own shelf, even with 2 battle droids. So they just kind of got all put together. Going a shelf down, and this shelf is going to need to find a way to expand soon, too, is my Clone Wars shelf. So, thankfully, I'm not really missing anything. I have the always elusive Captain Rex, the Target exclusive, Anakin, Obi-Wan, Echo, and Hawk. Those are all hard to come by. The 332nd clones, I'm so happy I was able to get 6. I was able to get 4 in stores and 2 online when these all dropped. Same with the Ahsoka, I just got her in store, and then the Mandalorian is in the back. I actually had 2 of the Loyalists, but before they ever made it to shelves, I had my figures in boxes as I was doing the renovation. And somewhere along the way, I misplaced a Loyalist, so that kind of sucks. We got Fox and the Coruscant guards and the technically Bad Batch Coruscant, like troopers over there, but it's alright. Gaming greats, jetpack troopers, but they're 501st. I actually took their pistols and gave them extra clone short blasters. And then Boss is just kind of in here because I didn't have a good spot to put him. Once the rest of the squad shows up, they're probably going to make their way to a different shelf. If I find a way to expand the Bad Batch shelf, I might just put them together. Going down, you get to my Revenge of the Sith shelf, which, some of these are like Attack of the Clones figures, but let's just call them, Revenge of the Sith. So, like, I have the clone troopers, the 212th clones that are technically Clone Wars, but kind of didn't have anywhere to put them here, so I put them with Cody down here. I have, like, the Archive Anakin with the dark side head, leading a bunch of 501st. Bly all alone back there. Thankfully, they just announced Ayla, though. A couple of the Amazon 4-pack Phase 1 or Phase 2 all-white clones. And then, like, a lot of these, like the Kit Fisto and the Dooku and the Plo Koon were all from an Attack of the Clones wave, but they're alright. Grievous is back there looking cool. I have him on the stand that came with the Marvel Legends Black Widow. And it's just a all-in-all good-looking set, and I have Anakin wearing Mace Windu's robe. Going down lower, you have a lot of deluxe sets going on. So you have a Biker Scout, you have the deluxe probe droid, Han Solo and Tauntaun, and the Wampa from the original 2-pack with Luke. I actually have a good story there, and I mentioned it on the Out of the Basement live stream a few weeks back. People were just talking about deals, and I brought this up. The old Hasbro Toy Shop eBay page. Sometimes they would run sales that you wouldn't ever see on Hasbro Toy Shop. This was way before Hasbro Pulse. I mean, I bought these when I lived in Florida, well before I moved back to Ohio, and that was in 2017. I mean, these were probably a 2015 or 16 purchase. One day, I looked on the Hasbro Toy Shop eBay page, just because sometimes you'd find a deal, and they had biker sets, Han and Tauntauns, and Jabba the Hutts, $10 each. They were clearing them out. The only one they didn't clear out was the Wampa and Luke. So I got the 2 speeder bike sets, and I got the Wampa, and I got a Jabba for 10 each, but I've since traded off Jabba because I thought he kind of looked like crap. I'm regretting that, although I have nowhere to put him, but that was well before we ever got Bib or the Gamorreans or anything else. So, Jabba was just kind of standalone for a long time in the collection. So I got rid of him. He'll be reissued with Return of the Jedi 40th next year, let's be fair. Going up here, we get to my A New Hope shelf. The Medal Ceremony Leia is just at the front because I didn't really want to fight her in the back. But she'll find a place back there eventually. The one thing that's not here is my X-Wing pilot Luke. There is somewhere an X-Wing pilot Luke, but that's the archive one. My very first Black Series, and I have it packed away in a box somewhere, is the X-Wing pilot Luke in the orange line way back in 2013. I actually picked that up at Target in January. It was new, it was the new line, and it was just a super cool, way to start. And so I did get the upgraded one for the better head. But Greedo I've had way back when. The Orange Pauldron Sand Trooper I've had since way back when. A lot of these are just older original pickups. There's like the older A New Hope Han Solo. Which is, honestly, for the time, I thought it was good, and I'm still not upset with it. I had to get that Archive Leia, which, check the channel for the reviews. She is just an amazing figure. And then the A New Hope Luke, it's not great, but I've never gotten where people say it's awful. I think it's a plenty serviceable figure. Going down, you get to your Empire Strikes Back shelf. And so you have, like, the reissue Bespin Luke with the much better face sculpt and the darker blue lightsaber. I ended up getting the single pack vintage packaging Luke and then the Luke with Yoda 2-pack, so I doubled up on that figure. Bunch of Hoth Rebel Troopers. I never really saw the mainline one, but I kept finding the 40th anniversary one, so I just kept opening them. Bunch of Snow Troopers, and then one AT-AT pilot hiding out behind Chewbacca. I remember that wave when it had the original Leia, and then the Snow Trooper, and the AT-AT driver, and Darth Revan, and Ben Kenobi. I mean, that was a great wave. That was one of the first times I ever actually just straight up pre-ordered a whole wave. You have on this shelf a couple different Wampa Lukes. The one in the back is actually the damaged face one with the Wampa, and then that would be the archive one right behind Vader. That's an original Boba Fett. I remember I was like 2013, 2014. I would have been like 13 or 14 years old, and that figure was impossible to find. Every store you'd go to was nothing but Bespin Luke, Han Solo, Slave Leia, Greedo, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You could never ever find Boba Fett. And I remember one day my parents were out doing something, and I had cash for it, but we always had like a sort of, if it was doable, if there was something I wanted to buy online, I could give them cash and they would buy it for me, and, everything would work out. Well, no one was picking up their phone, and there was an eBay auction ending for like $2 below retail, so like $18. And I couldn't get anyone to pick up the phone to okay it. So, like, I won the bid, and I got it for like exactly retail. I threw that $20 bid on it, and I got it. And I felt like such a winner, and I got in trouble for doing that, but it worked out, and he ended up in my possession. So there we go. Sometimes it's easier to ask forgiveness than permission. But that's a good story from way back when. Still have that figure. So, that is the, is that? No, that's not Archive. That's the 40th ESB Yoda. Same thing as the Archive figure. Came out at the same time. And I do love the Dirty Dagobah R2-D2. It's a great figure. Going down lower, the Return of the Jedi shelf is starting to get pretty populated. I have like I have the Endor, Luke, Han, and Leia with the General Lando. Great figure. I don't really know why he's peg warming. The Walmart Jedi Luke, and then the original Jedi Luke, who is awful, so I just have him fighting the awful Vader from the same wave. That is the Endor Leia without the poncho and helmet. It is such a good figure underneath all that I had to buy it twice. Deluxe Boba Fett, y'all bought it, y'all set the precedent. I'm still angry about it. You have just some Royal Guards and Stormtroopers. There's Force Ghost Yoda, behind Admiral Akbar. He's just hanging out next to Force Ghost Ben. Come on, Hasbro, give us the Anakin. Just complete the set already. Even though the Anakin would look weird because he'd have face printing and then Ben wouldn't. But it's okay. It's not really the worst likeness on that Ben. And then a Slave Leia hiding out behind Boba Fett. Down below, You have the Luke and Landspeeder, not San Diego one, just the regular release. You have the Dewback and Sand Trooper, which I got like on hella clearance. I think, truthfully, that could have been a Hasbro toy shop pickup too. It was definitely after Pulse had started when the figure set got released. But I'm sure I got it from their eBay page for like $20 because like they were on clearance for a bit. Now they're like $100 set. And then there's that other Scout Trooper I'd mentioned. Going all the way up over here, you get into the sequels. X-Wing Pilot Asti has tipped over there. Gonna have to actually let's just attempt to do this right now on camera. Try and lean him back a little bit. There we go. Oh man, and he knocked over Leia. I didn't even see her under him. That's how small her figure is. There we go. All right, come on, figures, play along. Let's get along. Bunch of First Order troopers in the back. That is a custom black Pauldron one. They only ever made the orange Pauldron one, like just available in that Amazon 4-pack with the white Phase 1 clones and then the yellow striped lieutenants here. But I bought 2 of the pack. I sold a yellow lieutenant, and I have like 2 of the stormtroopers with the blast damage mixed in with mine. And I didn't want 2 red ones, so I like acetoned the red off of his Pauldron, and it came out really nice. Bunch of different variants, like the Amazon Deluxe trooper with the vest and everything. Got that FN 2187, is it there? Found him at a Walgreens near my high school. That was cool. One of the variants of the Red Arm 3PO. And then just the awful faces of all of these. Although the new Han Solo should look much better than that, truthfully. But, pretty good figures. I'm definitely a sequel fan, so these are going to be around for a long time. Going down to get to the Last Jedi shelf. I'm going to piss people off with this. I think this is probably the best of the sequels and objectively a fine movie. I know a lot of people like to hate it. I don't see it. I think it's solid. But some of the figures are a little weak, but the movie's fine. You got your nice old man Luke there. Wish we would get a crate Luke. I mean, come on. It'd be a good figure. Have a couple of Kylo Rens. One of them was this one. He has the fabric cape. It came with the floor that went with the Snoke. And the Kylo and the floor were a Walmart exclusive, and the Snoke with the throne were a GameStop exclusive, and that was just the Kylo that I had with a plastic cloak. But there's some good stuff going on here. Going down to the Rise of Skywalker shelf, this movie really needs another wave. I mean, a lot of these are just, like Snowtroopers I already had. I got the cape with the Target mystery box. The Sith Troopers and then the Jetpack Troopers, both Sith and First Order, are cool. But you get away from the Troopers, which are filling up so much of the space, you realize that you only got like 7 unique figures for this movie. One of which is a store exclusive, being the Target 3PO, and then the Rey coming out way later. For the longest time, we only had these 5 figures for this movie, and it's not like we've drastically grown, So that's a little bit unfortunate. I do wish that, at least give us a Poe and a Finn and a General Lando. I got my old Luke, my old Han and Leia up here. Give me a Lando. At least complete our original characters that came back in these movies. And then underneath, you have, this came out at the time of The Last Jedi, the Black Series Poe Dameron X-Wing helmet, which is a cool prop replica. I do rather like that helmet a lot. I wore it to the midnight premiere for Rise of Skywalker. Now, that gets us through the general Black Series collection. You might be like, man, that was a lot of stuff. How much bigger does this collection get? Well, that's all that you ever see behind the camera. But there's a decent amount of stuff mixed around the rest of the place. So, I'm going to go ahead and run through that. Over here is kind of a little bit of a clutter corner. Those are my filming lights for my reviews, and that's my tripod for my reviews. That table kind of just has oddball stuff put on. I used to use these little ring lights as my lighting, but then I ordered those lights on Amazon. I'm way happier. Over here, that's a Squidward autograph. Some artwork I've picked up at conventions. I do love that Capaldi and the Daleks, and then the 10th Doctor silhouette with the Tardis. This right here is a screen-used Doctor Who prop They had a scene in The Runaway Bride, which was the Season 3 holiday special that introduced Donna Noble, where the 10th Doctor used a sonic screwdriver to blow up an ATM to distract, a whole street full of people so that he and Donna could get away from an oncoming threat that was hiding in the crowd. So they had a lot of fake money that looked like real money, but with pictures of David Tennant as the Doctor and then a Tardis stamp instead of whatever stamp would be on the banknotes at the time. So it was just a really cool thing to get. I framed it with the big certificate of authenticity. There's a ton of them out there, so they're not really a super valuable thing, but it's all right. I think it was like $15. It was just neat to have. That's a theater-sized printout of the Avengers Infinity War poster. I got that with Disney Movie Rewards points. If you get, you can make, I think it's Disney Movie Insiders now. It was Movie Rewards at the time. Anytime that you buy a ticket to a Disney movie, or anytime that you buy a Disney anything on DVD or Blu-ray, a season of the Clone Wars or Rebels or a new Marvel movie, it has a code and you redeem your code for points. And then you can trade them in for cool stuff like your Infinity War poster or your Thor Ragnarok poster, which is a cool one. This cabinet here, I might try to rework a little bit. I have that 18-inch Tobey Maguire Spiderman hanging out. Those popcorn buckets are, they're not labeled as replicas, but they are like the exact same print pattern that were used on the popcorn buckets at the premiere in Drake and Josh. So I found those to go with my Josh cosplay. I have the Marvel Legends Stormbreaker looking awesome, and then the Black Series Darksaber, which is just an awesome bit to the collection. Underneath are kind of just extra figures that I've picked up, and they're just kind of there. It's just kind of rough storage, and then some oddball stuff and cat beds that I have stacked up for now. In the corner, always on the cat tree, is Ahsoka. Ahsoka. She's looking at the moth up along the ceiling there. But Ahsoka is part of the collection, I guess. That is a signed Carl Weezer print, and then more artwork that I got at Pensacon. That would have been 2019, I believe. I didn't get, or 2020 probably. I didn't get any at the last two, so it would have been 2020. Over here are our celebrity photo ops. This is my overflow wall. So these are the ones that I have viewed as less significant than the ones that are over there. So just to go over these, that's Catherine Tate, Jonathan Frakes, John Barrowman, who I love, but I have two photos with him, so this is the other one. That's Walter Koenig. He was the original Chekhov in classic Star Trek. Super nice guy. That's Mark Pellegrino. He's Lucifer on Supernatural. Janet Varney, the voice of Avatar Korra. Gray Delisle, the voice of Azula, among many, many other cartoon characters. That's Marty Grabstein. He voices Courage the Cowardly Dog. That is Gaten Matarazzo from Stranger Things. He's probably not going to stay here for long. He's probably going to make his way back to the main wall. He's a new addition over here. That's Bryce Papenbrook. He voices a lot of Funimation anime dubs. I like him as Kirito from Sword Art Online. And that's Dennis Lawson. He plays Wedge Antilles in anything that Wedge is in. Over here, up top, you have some Lego, the International Space Station. I found that on clearance in my local Walmart for $40. Couldn't pass on it. Another Lego clearance find was this 18-plus probe droid. I have a little pack of nails from where I just recently hung these all up. This is my Ahsoka shelf. Ahsoka is my favorite Star Wars character, believe it or not. So I have a lot of her Funko Pops, a lot of just general action figures and little statues and the Lego brick heads and some finished collection Ahsokas. And it's just my little Ahsoka shrine. Going down to get to my character options, Doctor Who figures. I really wish these were more readily available in the US and the line wasn't basically dead because they keep reissuing instead of making new stuff at this point. And they're back to doing UK only. They're not sharing to Amazon in the US anymore, which is awful. I do want more, and I don't think that's going to be basically gettable here. But you have the 12th Doctor Flight Control TARDIS, and I know that's kind of hard to come by. The 13th Doctor one I had to import from the UK. Going a little bit further down, you have the 2nd Doctor Electronic TARDIS to the left. That was the Character Online exclusive. It came with the second Doctor and coat. That's the 5th Doctor's Tardis, which came with that 5th Doctor. I got it on Amazon. And then that... No, I'm sorry, that's the 5th Doctor TARDIS. That is the 3rd Doctor Monsters of Peladon one. Came with that 3rd Doctor. I imported that from the UK. I have the movie Daleks split up. And, it's kind of hiding over there in the dark. But, just some of my Doctor Who figures. Wish I had more. They're not available here. Over here, a lot of these pops are just kind of here to be out of the way. They're going to end up in my bedroom soon, probably. These 4 are signed. The Sylvie was just sent to me by Aiden. I have to get a video out on it, but super good gift. Thanks, Aiden. Defender Strange, that was an impulse buy. Same with the Box Lunch Spiritang. And then Kate Bishop is one of my favorite new Marvel characters, so I'm just super hyped about her. There's my old Toys R Us reward card in a frame. This is my Marvel Legends cabinet. I'm pretty much done collecting Marvel Legends because I don't want to have more than this one cabinet, and I can't find space for one more figure in it. So, there's not necessarily any order. They're all MCU. I don't really do comic book figures. I have a couple of Iron Mans packed away that are just kind of like impulse buys. But, a lot of these are even like original. So, like, that's the Build-A-Figure Hulkbuster. It's not the 2-pack. That's the Age of Ultron Hulk. I've been picking these up for years. That's not the Build-A-Figure Ant-Man. That is the Civil War reissue one. But, you know, I mean, there's some good stuff in here. And I do like Marvel Legends, but it's second to Star Wars. It always will be. So, that's what I got going on there. And then I have, I believe NECA makes them, these suction cup stands. So I have, like, the new movie Tom Holland, the older Amazing Spider-Man 2, which will get replaced by the newer one whenever Hasbro does it. And then to fill in for Tobey Maguire, I have the PS4 Spider-Man. And so it's like they're kind of like just swinging around the outside of the cabinet. And I love that display idea, so we're running with it. There are some fancy lightsabers. The Lego Hilt inspired one, and then a MHS one made by Severed Hand Sabers. Also out of Ohio. Check them out on social media. I believe they have a TikTok, but they're definitely on Facebook. That's where I got that lightsaber from. Over here, I found a little nail in this door frame, and it's where I've hung my only convention badge, being the Fan Expo Cleveland one. It's the only convention I've been to that's given a necklace badge. So that's going to be where they all go from here on, even if I only get one every 8 years of conventions. The promotional Book of Boba Fett poster, also from Disney Movie Rewards. This is a print of a 332nd helmet left in the snow at the end of the Clone Wars, like from that very final scene. You see the silhouette of Vader walking away there. That is from Art by Malfoy. She is on TikTok and is just an amazing nerdy artist, does a lot of Star Wars stuff. That is a replica 7th Doctor umbrella. I do very much like that one. This cabinet is all autographs. So all the Funkos on top are autographs. Everything inside are autographed items. Well, that actually is a replica Mandalorian tracker and Mon Calamari flan from our first episode. Up top, I have a Lego Snowtrooper Battle Pack, just vibing, and I 3D printed this Squirtle Squad set. I only made 2. See, I even numbered them. This is 2 of 2. Aiden has 1 of 2, and that is just a special thing between him and I. Going over here, this table is a little bit cluttered, but that is my review table. So I've been doing some stuff in this room today, so it's been put to use. Picked up the Uncle Iroh on the way to Fanboy Expo Columbus the other day, so I pulled Zuko out, and I'm going to use him in the review of Iroh. That's my Ironman Arc Reactor display, all of the credits from the credit collection stuff. And honestly, this is kind of a messy display. I have another John Walker Marvel Legend just in box because I did like how that packaging replicated the packaging of the figure of him in the show. So should I ever get the opportunity to meet the actor, I'm going to get that signed. Those are my effing dinosaurs. Fill in the word, if you will. They are packaged like that at the dollar store. I saw them, and that was the first thing that came to mind. This is a President Loki crown with the horns that I 3D printed, and I've just not finished and made wearable yet. It's only been sitting here for like 6 months. We'll get there someday. the cursed Kane and Jarrus plush. You can see right through your soul. Then honestly, everything underneath is a mess. Just my PS4 hanging out. Bunch of Credit Collection Black Series just sitting there waiting to be displayed somewhere. And random Harry Potter wands sticking out and some DVDs and PS4 games. Up top, that's Greg Baldwin. He voices Uncle Iroh. He was the second voice actor for him since the original guy, Mako, passed away at the end of filming of Season 2. So he did most of Season 3 and then all the Legend of Korra. So he is a pretty cool one. That's Michael Rooker. Met him at Pensacon this last go around. Giancarlo Esposito needs no introduction. He's an amazing actor. Katie Sackhoff, had to meet Bo-Katan, so kind of had them put together for that Mandalorian connection. William Shatner. He's a pretty nice guy, but he's very interested in moving his lines along at the conventions, so didn't get to talk to him too much, but he's pretty nice. I did like meeting him. I'm blanking on name. You should know him. He's Lucius Malfoy. I'm not really great with names. I'm shocked that I've made it this far without, Jason Isaacs. See? Said I'm bad with names, what I got there. David Tennant and Billy Piper in a Doctor Who duo photo. My very first convention meet was for Peter Capaldi. He's super nice, one of the nicest people I've ever met. Alex Kingston is also a total sweetheart. Loved meeting her at Pensacon a couple years back. I got a dual photo with Colin Baker and Peter Davison, all Doctor Who related. My mom and I met Christopher Eccleston at Motor City Con a few weeks back. Anson Mount and Ethan Peck. Now, I met them at Steel City Con. It was well before Strange New Worlds got announced. It was after Discovery Season 2 had finished. So it's super cool to know that I've met basically the main cast of the new show before it ever happened. Over here, my sister Carly and I got to meet Jessie Flower, Olivia Hack, and Jenny Kwan, who voices Toph, Ty Lee, and Suki from Avatar Last Airbender. That was our group photo op, and that was kind of like a birthday present for her. Last year I got her a Toph Pop to get signed and everything. Getting a little bit lower, here's Matthew Lewis, who plays Neville Longbottom in the Harry Potter movies. Met him rather recently. Paul McGann, who's awesome. Loved meeting him. Ian McDiarmid, who was just amazing. Ashley Eckstein, who definitely still takes the cake as number one person I've ever met. It was Capaldi for years, and it's kind of just recently become her spot. She's just absolutely amazing. She wants to talk to everyone and just is the sweetest lady ever, and have nothing but nice things to say about her. Not far behind is Matt Lanner. He's a super chill dude, very much who you'd picture the guy playing that version of Anakin, would be like in real life. Just a very nice guy, and between her and him, a lot of childhood memories were caused by them. There's Freddie Prinze Jr. My mom and I got to meet him at the same time we met Eccleston. He is just a super chill, laid-back dude. And then last year, Motor City Con, when I met Giancarlo Esposito and Gaten Matarazzo, John Barrowman was there, who I'd met, but my mom hadn't. So my sister was with us, and we got another, a family photo there. That's a Captain America, the Winter Soldier. That was the promotional poster for the movie. They'd have that in theaters when Thor: The Dark World was screening. But I like that poster more than the actual, final poster. So, had to get that from Disney Movie Rewards. That's kind of like a 3D sort of image of the Mandalorian. That was a Christmas present from my Aunt Amanda. This is a concept art poster from The Last Jedi from Force Friday's midnight release at Toys R Us back in 2017. I remember I went to Toys R Us. I waited for 2 hours before the midnight release of figures. They were giving out the poster. I went in, and they had not gotten Black Series. They had just gotten lightsabers, which were repacks of the Force Awakens one in Last Jedi packaging. So then I went to Walmart down the street, and they had put out their set of figures, and no one had taken any of them. So got everything I wanted that night. It was a pretty good set, too. I got old Luke, I got Last Jedi Rey, and then I got Harris and Dula and some Stormtroopers and Thrawn. I mean, that was a good assortment. That was a good haul. I got 2 Stormtroopers, too. It was a 6-figure night, which was sweet. This Empire Strikes Back canvas was a Christmas present from Carly a couple Christmases back, so that gets a good spot. And then there is another Disney Movie Rewards poster for Ant-Man and the Wasp. That's the storage room and the door doesn't close, so I kind of like wired it shut because the cats will push it open. That's my bathroom. You're not seeing that. My bedroom might be another video, but I didn't get it cleaned up for this, and I think I have enough content at this point. This is probably going to be like a 40-minute video. You're welcome. But yeah, that is the Hybrid Toy Reviews 2022 Action Figure Tour. Later this week, we are going to be getting into the autograph collection. I'm guessing we're probably looking at about 40 minutes on this video, which is why I want to cut it now and do the autographs separately. Because, let me just super quick, 15, 20, 25, 28, 32. I basically have like 40 or more autographs, and with that amount of them, I feel like even if I cut it down to talking about each one for 1 minute, would be a 40-minute video on its own. So we're not going to do that. We are going to do a separate video for those, and some I'll talk about for a minute. Some I'm sure I'll talk about way less than a minute. A lot of these encounters have been very brief, so I'm not going to get super over the top about them. But we'll do them in a separate video. So, what was your favorite thing you saw? What are there anything that I have that you also have that maybe you've displayed in a different way? I don't know. Tell me about your collections. Let's talk. Comment section down below. You guys know the drill. I'm gonna go to bed. It's 11 at night. It's bedtime, and I have work tomorrow. So, thanks for checking out my video. It means a lot that you did. If you enjoyed, you should leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that end of video stuff, and catch you in the 2023 collection tour, which I'm going to say we're going to do now, which means you're lucky if it happens by 2024. But this is probably how the collection is going to be for the foreseeable future. The only thing that might change is, like I said, clearing that one shelf of oddball figures just for expansion, or trying to find some way to add shelves to Detolf, which, as I understand, is doable, but there would be a lot of stuff to do with it. Like if I could raise the top two shelves, or if I could raise, one or two shelves and then lower like a lower shelf, maybe put spacers in, to then add a shelf potentially, that would be super cool. So I don't know. There's got to be a way to do it. I've seen where people have put lifters in, and there's got to be a way to add a shelf. So I'm going to figure that out. But anyway, basically the only thing that's probably going to change going forward is the general layout of what's in the shelves. So this is how the room looks now compared to like a year ago. I'll try to remember to maybe link the last collection tour. That might be a fun video, so I'll link it in the description below. So anyway, I'm gonna go. Catch you later. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Have a good one. Bye.